R&J Broadcasting Incorporated. We are talking to Ken Mendez and Lauren Wallace here at the University of Minnesota Crookston and talking about a project that you guys have put together here called Roots of the Red River Valley and through the lens of Russell Lee. And what I'm reading here, it's kind of photos and stuff put together from 1937, but I'll let you guys talk about it a little bit more here. So give us a rundown of what this gallery is and what people can expect when they come on up and take a look.
First of all, thank you for coming to our campus. And this gallery, it's called the Roots of the Red River Valley. And Russell Lee contracted through the Farm Security Administration back in 1937, along with about 11 or 12 other photographers, made his way through northern Minnesota. And he happened to be here around the time of the harvest in October of 1937. So it's a pictorial history of what he saw photographed. And so in November 4th, we are going to open an exhibit to the public, and it's going to be a week long. And so right now we have about 70 to 80 pictures from that time. They're perfect pictures. They're pristine almost. And they tell a story of what the sugar beet harvest was like. And the weather conditions back then, a lot different than they are from this week in the past month. But they're beautiful pictures. They're black and white. We broke the history into three categories: the factory, the migrant worker, and the farmer. And we distributed the pictures pretty evenly. So as we are just a few days away, I'm starting to get a little bit more excited, and I'm getting ready for these to be posted. As I have had these images, I think we're going on 2 years. In January, I think Lauren and I started on this in earnest, at least the how are we going to make this work? So we're getting there.
All right. So Lauren, talk a little bit about your role in this and what you've been working on all this time to help get this going and get everything organized for people to come see.
So I've been working with Ken on various different projects ever since I got here. I'm a junior this year, and I've been working with Ken a lot. So with this one, I just kind of hear out his ideas and try to help him make them a reality for him. So I've been working on just different designs for the posters and a program that we're going to be using, and then a postcard that went out to some specific individuals that we wanted to come.
All right. So what drew you to this? Why did you want to get involved?
Well, I knew it was important to Ken, so that was the main thing here. And I am really fascinated to learn more about the sugar beet harvest and everything, because I know as a student, this is really important to Crookston, sugar beets, but I don't know what it means. So it's kind of cool to see something a little deeper and learn, it's not just the smell that I smell every fall. It's something way more than that.
Absolutely. And, this year has been kind of a challenging harvest and stuff. So it's awesome that you guys are putting this together to, showcase here as farmers and growers and, the people that work on the sugar beet harvest are kind of having a tough go at it here this year. But it's so awesome that you guys are showcasing, the history behind it as well. So talk about the event itself and kind of who's welcome, what they can come be a part of. There's a couple events, as you mentioned, involved with this. So what are the main points there?
The gallery opening officially is November 4th at 7 p.m. All the photography is in Beet Ballroom, and it will be there from Monday, November 4th until Saturday, November 9th. And so the hours that they're going to be open is 8 to 8. On Wednesday is our Torch and Shield event on campus. It's one of the biggest events that we have on our campus for our calendar year. Mm-hmm. We will be closing the exhibit at 5 o'clock that night only for the Torch and Shield attendees. And then on Thursday, you want to talk about the Thursday Commons?
Sure. So the Thursday Commons is going to be located in Kiel Auditorium on campus here, and it's just basically an informational session about the gallery. So to learn a little bit more about sugar beets and these photos and the photographer and everything. And then refreshments will be provided at 12 p.m.
Yep. And so, I just wanted to take this time to, Lauren has helped me, assisted me since I believe it was Ryan Leaf. So she's helped me with like 4 or 5 events that I have done since then. A couple of them were plays. And it's nice to see a student reach out to want to do that extra thing. She's a volleyball player. She's a student. She's active. And if I can text her or email her and say, do this for me and kind of bug her, it's just like she's always helpful. She gives me good insight. And at the end of the day, she makes me realize that it's important to give back to the students, give them a chance to do things. And it's just like I tell her when she makes these posters, you got to put your name on this. You created this. This is a part of what you have done on our campus. And I hope she sees that. I hope other students recognize that there's more to do on this campus. If you want to be involved, you can in a lot of aspects on this campus. And I just want to have Lauren talk about something that she's been doing on the side, just another extra thing that she's done with a book.
Yes, so actually I recently illustrated a children's book, and it's called Redefining Strong, and it was written by Courtney Place, who is the founder of the See Us movement. And she just one day asked me if I would be willing to illustrate this book that she had written, and I was like, sure. Like, I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know what I'll have to do, but I had my iPad and I knew how to draw. So it was a pretty cool process, and now it's actually available on Amazon. So it's really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very awesome. So being involved in this on campus and the other things that you're involved in, how does that help you as a student, or maybe as far as what you want to do with your future, that type of thing?
It's been very helpful just with such a variety of different events. It really gives me a lot of exposure to see like what I may want to do in the future. So I see what I like, what I don't like, and then it gives me a great opportunity to work with a lot of different people on campus. So like I'll attend meetings and I'll be with like the chancellor and the vice chancellor, and like you don't really get that opportunity on bigger campuses, or even if you're on campus and not putting yourself out there. So it's been very helpful.
That is awesome. So you get something to add to your portfolio and that type of thing. Very, very cool. So what has maybe been one of the big challenges of putting this event together? I mean, photos from 1937, probably not, readily available. I can't think of any photography that, we might have at home from my family's history that's from that era. How did you find that?
And it's an important question, and thank you for asking, because I did fail to mention, and I'm glad you brought it up. These pictures come from the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C., and they were cataloged along with many pictures that Russell Lee took on his travels up here. So I happened to find these pictures a few years ago. And it's like I say, I do have things on the back burner waiting for that right time to, hey, let's do this. And so I found the right time to do this. It was almost 2 years ago. And then we just did the right thing on trying to figure out how can we make this an exhibit. I think one of the best decisions that we made was, and she's not here today, is bringing Megan Beck-Peterson on board. And she's the curator of the event.
Oh, okay.
It's hers to do what she wants. And that sometimes I've learned that it's not all about how I want it. It's about having people that know how to do my idea and make it better through their eyes. So that was nice to see Megan take a leadership role in this project. And it's how she wants it. It's her vision. But yet she knows that she's working through my general idea. So that's not a challenge. It's good when you have people that are excited and want to be a part of this. So these pictures, I mean, we put them on foam core. We solicited through a lot of companies to find out which foam core to put these images on. We went with one that's a national company. They have a 99-year guarantee on the images on foam core. So I think that just typifies everything that we do. Is we try to do the best that we can do, and it went down to the best images that we can put on foam core. And that's what I strive, whether it be in a play or bringing a musician or bringing a speaker to campus. What can I do to the best of my ability to make sure that this happens? It's rewarding for me that I did my best to make something happen. If it's well attended, awesome. If it's not well attended, somebody missed out. That's how I can kind of look at it, and that's why I appreciate having people like Lauren, having people like Megan Beck-Peterson. But a lot of it is the university exposure that I like to give. There's nothing greater, more fulfilling for me than to bring the eye to the campus in a positive light. And so I think this is the 19th or 20th event that I have held. So this is probably the most personable for me. So.
Okay, so that was going to be another one of my questions here was, what does this display mean to you then? I know you've got kind of a history with the sugar beet industry and whatnot, so tell us a little bit of background there.
One thing I've always known is my parents in 1976 were interviewed by the Minnesota Historical Society for a project on the migration of Hispanics up north. And so I've always knew about that interview, and I've always known some particulars that my dad and my mom said. My dad arrived up here in 1927, the first year that the East Grand Forks American Sugar Company was opened for sugar beets. These pictures were taken in 1937. In the last 6 months, through circumstances that just happened, I found out that my father was up here in 1937. So, I mean, it's personal to me, but I think Lauren knows probably as well as anybody by working with events to me. I do events that are close to me. If I do a play, there's a reason why I do a play. If I bring a speaker, there's a reason why I bring a speaker. It's not about being selfish. It's about I want the message that I want to convey through somebody else is generally how I tend to work, and these pictures are just another way of doing that. It's an appreciation for my family, and it's appreciation for the farmers, and it's an appreciation for the industry. But at the end of the day, it's the university allowing me to do this. I have great support in my supervisor, Lisa Samuelson. She lets me do these things. And then administration, the chancellor, the vice chancellor. That hasn't been a challenge. They have been very welcoming of things that I do on this campus. They attend my events generally if they're around, and they've supported this one almost since day one. So it's fulfilling in a lot of ways, and it'll really be gratifying come next week that I can finally put something on the wall that I had envisioned years ago.
Absolutely. It's so awesome. So many opportunities for people to come and appreciate this. And, as you said, it's personal to you, but I feel as though, especially up in this area, there's a lot of people that'll be able to relate to it and put stories together that, this kind of reminds me of something my dad used to talk about or things like that. So I'm really excited for you guys to get to see all of that, and it should be a lot of fun. So anything else that you want to add here before we wrap up, just to let people know of? Is charge to get in, anything like that?
No, actually, the events are all free and open to the public, other than the Torch and Shield event on Wednesday night. But throughout the week, it's a very good opportunity for everyone to come to campus, and the parking lot A will be free, so people can park in there without worrying about a ticket or anything. And I just really encourage people to come out and see what we've been working on. All
right. Great opportunity. Hope to see a lot of people up here next week. And will you guys be in and out of the display throughout the duration?
I will be. I mean, it's right above where I work.
Okay.
So, people have asked me, Ken, if I bring my family out, will you walk us through it? I'll gladly do that. I work in the mailroom on the campus. It's right below where the exhibit is. Find my mailroom. I'll walk up there with you. I'll show you as much as I can, and I'll tell you as much as you want to know. I don't know everything, but I've learned a lot by looking at these pictures and having a couple key people tell me what's going on in these images. So yeah, I mean, it's it's a reflection time. But as Lauren said, these pictures are something of the past. But at the same time, not much has changed. They still have the lift stations in the pictures back in 1937. You can't modernize a lot of the things today. That's what's going to be interesting. They had trucks back then, just like they do now. They had workers back then, just like they do now. The concept is pretty much intact with some key improvements.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll be really, really cool to see that. And thank you guys for chatting with us here and letting us know what's going on. And hopefully you get a really nice turnout, and it sounds like you'll have a lot of fun with it. And these photos are originals, aren't they?
They are originals, and we took them from, or not took, we accessed them through the Library of Congress.
Okay.
And then we did, I thought everything was a JPEG. I didn't know anything between a JPEG and any other type of PEG. But these are TIFF images, which is, I can't explain what a TIFF image is, but it's the clarity through these TIFF images is unbelievable. You can hold a microscope and see the clarity down to, it's a beautiful foam core images that we have. And just even if you have a photography interest, the clarity of these pictures are stunning. And I think everybody will appreciate that when they come out.
All right. And where are these going after this? Do we know yet?
Great question. They will be at the University of Minnesota Crookston Library.
Okay.
Not right now. I don't have the details, but they will be accessible. So if there's an organization or a school that would like to have this exhibit or part of the exhibit, at some point in the near future, you will be able to have access to these. So
all
that's another, speaking of when I plan an event, that's one thing that has always been a part of this was how can I make this accessible beyond the initial opening? So thanks for asking.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for joining us here today. And thank you for the facility here is really awesome. Thanks for recording back there. And again, we're talking to Ken Mendez and Lauren Wallace here on the Roots of the Red River Valley display through the lens of Russell Lee here that will be on display November 4th. Monday, November 4th through Saturday, November 9th, correct? Okay. So head on up to the UMC campus here. Take a look at that. A great opportunity to learn about the history of the sugar beet harvest here. And again, thanks for joining us with R&J Broadcasting Incorporated. I'm Whitney Pittman.